Welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Welcome, folks.
Welcome indeed. Welcome indeed.
Welcome to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk. And of course, we always have the best guests in the world.
Yes, we do.
I guess I better get started then, right, Jeff?
Yes, we do. We have the best guests, and it's time for you to get started. So take a deep breath.
Deep breath and get rolling here. Of course, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the Treasure Talk guest and members belong solely to the guest or member and not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Monin. And of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And we're going to do that tonight, aren't we, Jeff?
We certainly are, because we have a goodie tonight. We always have goodies, but this is an extra good goodie.
Yes.
This is like a super fudge chunk chocolate chip walnut cookie with cranberry.
That's too good. That's going to give me
That's
heartburn.
pretty good. Yeah, but it's going to make you happy, happy, happy.
Yeah. I'll be getting the Tums.
You'll be chuckling like Popeye the Sailor Man.
There we go.
So I think we need to probably just get right into it.
Absolutely. And friends, let me remind you, Jocelyn's on the Treasure Talk Facebook page. So if you got a question for our guests tonight, you can type it there, or Jeff's monitoring YouTube. And hopefully, if it doesn't go too quick, we'll be able to catch it over there too. Any questions?
Yep, I'm monitoring YouTube. I've got 2 Facebook pages, Myers Metal Detectors, and 2 YouTube channels and Twitter.
And Twitter too.
Yep. So, and maybe Elon Musk will be buying Twitter pretty soon, so it'll get even better. So there we go.
Yeah, nobody will censor us.
Yeah, that's right. There'll be no community standards,
Yeah, not that we do anything worth censoring. We're always a family show. So
that's right. We always are, always have been, and always will be.
Absolutely.
So I think these folks that are with us tonight are just the epitome of treasure hunters. Now, you all have seen them before. That you're in for a real treat tonight, because he and his wife just got back from England. They were there for, I think, about a month. And so we're going to talk about England detecting, all kinds of detecting in general, about he and his wife and their lifestyle and what they do, and detectors and all kinds of stuff. So let's just bring on right now Chicago Ron and his beautiful wife, Gretchen. Here they come. Hello.
Hey, guys.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Jeff. That was wonderful.
Jeff's the best at introducing people. He is.
Of course, she accused me of being the chocolate chunk. She's like, "You're the chunky one. You know that."
Oh, I'm a big cookie.
Oh, you're the chunk in the cookie.
I'm one of those ones that's in the mall. That big in the mall.
All righty. Well, we're so glad you guys are here. So, for the folks who don't know you, we all know you, but for the folks that don't, go ahead and introduce yourself, Ron and Gretchen, and tell us how long you've been detecting and what detector you're now using.
Yeah, I started detecting in 1983. I actually lost my high school ring on a military base in California. So I went to Radio Shack and bought I think it was a Microna 2001 for like $50. Looked for my high school ring. I never found my ring, but my first silver coin was a Walking Liberty $50, and I was hooked. That was it. I've gone through White's, Minelab, Deus. I've used most of the brands. Currently, I'm using a Minelab Equinox 800. I have one that I had waterproof for diving, and I just bought the Deus 2 for diving. And I'm also using the Nemo Blue 3 for trips to Aruba and things like that. And Gretchen is using the the Deus. Well, she just got the Deus 2. She hasn't used it yet. So.
It's I didn't get it until after we got back from England, and I'm sorry, it's 30 degrees here. I'm not going out.
I've been out a half a dozen times. She's like, no, it's too cold for me. I'm not going out.
I am a fair weather
I
one.
mean, this time of the year, it may turn out to be 75 tomorrow
Yeah.
and in the morning, and then go down to 30 in the afternoon. I know I grew up in that area.
Exactly.
I had way too many years of winter and the iffy Illinois weather.
It was 80 yesterday, and today it's like
50.
49. Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder people are sick. Of course, there's other reasons why they're sick. But you know what I mean. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. But I tell you what, Gretchen, you're gonna love that Deus too.
I had a Deus before the Equinox, and I get it, and I really liked it, but it does not like salt water. So
Nope.
I went to the Equinox, and I liked it. I didn't like it as well as a Deus. And funny thing, Ron, he worked an overtime day, and he said, "I bought myself a treat. What do you want? You can get a treat." And what have you guys done to me? I asked for a
She
Deus
shows a
2.
metal detector.
That's a pretty nice treat, I must say.
So jewelry, vacation,
Like you don't get enough of that. I find you all the jewelry you need.
So I asked for a metal detector, and I am very excited to start using it though.
Yeah.
And
You're gonna love it.
he said that the black sand is like just
Yeah, it's not
Not
even
an
there.
issue.
Not even there.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you get the
And,
9-inch coil or the 11?
I've used both. I have the 9-inch that I bought for diving, and I used her 11-inch. I actually the first gold that I found with the Deus 2 was with hers. So her gold, her machine's already got gold.
It's
Mine doesn't.
it's got the taste for it now.
Oh yeah, those
Right.
are excellent detectors, and actually, they've sold out so fast this year. But I've got a big shipment coming in tomorrow. I think I have 25 coming tomorrow. So
How many of them are gone already?
just I think 3.
Oh, okay.
So we're starting to see some availability on the market.
Yeah. All the people that pre-ordered are finally caught up. So
Yes.
this is his second order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the second big order. I was very amazed at that, but I see the performance of them, and I've said this before. They looked at the Equinox and says, "Let's see what we can do better,"
Yeah.
and they made it waterproof to 60 feet. So that's a feat in itself. Now you mentioned you waterproofed your Equinox. What did you do with that?
So there's a guy in the Ukraine, Sea Ghost.
Is it hanging in the
Who
closet?
does,
In the hallway?
No, it's in the suitcase. There's a guy named Sea Ghost in the Ukraine that does waterproof, and it's to 30 feet. He builds his own cases. He does all the pressing of the plastic, puts in all the stuff. I sent him my machine, just the head, and he waterproofed it for like $250, and I got a set of headphones with it, and it works great. My concern is at some point the fittings are going to rot out from salt water going to Aruba. So the Deus is I think a little bit maybe better for that, or at least it's good to have a backup anyway. So
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, that with performance on the Deus, I think it's a little deeper too,
yeah,
detection wise. So we'll see.
And not as heavy to pack when you.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
It's easier to
Oh,
pass. Well, I went from the 30-30 to the 800
that was like,
and I mean that was like night and day packing. You don't have the big chargers and the big battery packs and the machine itself.
And then you got 2 machines. You've got the hookah. You've got 16 pounds in dive weights. And oh my God.
Yeah, the last time we went to Aruba, she was going crazy because the bags were just heavy as heck.
And the airline's going, how much more can we charge you?
What have you had in there?
Right,
So
right
everything's
at 50
rifled
pounds.
through.
Everything right at 50 pounds. Pre-weigh everything.
And
Yeah,
you
we
have
already have to.
tested and oh my gosh.
Well, I
So
would Phil, that I'm fixing to customize my Deus to a little bit. I don't like the antenna wrapped around the shaft. That's just me. So I'm gonna put it inside the shaft.
Ah,
I'm
Okay.
gonna drill a little hole up there and put a grommet in it, and I'll have some of it wrapped around
yeah.
because it's so long. But I just don't like all that stuff wrapped around.
I just wrapped mine yesterday, and I put a piece of electrical tape right at the base with enough room for the coil to completely rotate both ways.
Mhm.
Then wrapped it tight and put another piece of electrical tape at the top of that wrap, and then it's just like 3 loose wraps up to the housing, and it really sits pretty well.
So if you,
Yeah.
you put it through, can you still collapse the machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is pretty slick. I like that.
Yeah, and see that's the thing because I'm always afraid. I hate to be taking it on and off, on and off, on and
Yeah.
off, because then it gets that memory and it just becomes a big pain. So if you're going to do dirt digging, if you got that thing wrapped around, chances are it's going to snag and this, that, and the other thing. So
Yeah, if you're going through brush.
yeah. So I'll just leave it on there and kind of go for that. Now I just hope my eyesight's good enough to drill a good hole. I'm going,
Uh-oh.
Time for the glasses.
yeah.
Absolutely. So did you guys just get back from an England trip?
We did. We had two 10-day hunts.
We got back about 20 days ago.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks at least since we got back. But yeah, we had 2 10-day hunts. We got some decent stuff. Had some decent weather. I got gold coin number 23, a Celtic quarter stater from the Clacton type. So about 50 BC. I probably got I don't know, 7 or 8, maybe 10 hammered silver coins. A nice Bronze Age artifact, a tool, an implement, a
sickle.
a hand scythe or
scythe.
hand sickle. And it's the first one we've ever found. The blade is broken off, but it's the whole base of it with the hole that they, put a pin through into the wooden handle. So we got some cool artifacts. 2 of the guys that were on the trip, one the first 10 days and one the second 10 days, also found gold coins. So we got 3 Celtic quarter staters on the trip.
Oh, that's something right there.
Rich found the most gorgeous Roman bronze I have ever seen.
Yeah, a lot of
Oh my gosh.
really nice detail on it.
It was absolutely stunning. It looked like a museum piece.
Now you still going to the Colchester area?
Yeah, it's still around Colchester. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we were.
Yeah, most of the stuff that we're hunting is north of Colchester. We have a few sites south of Colchester. We had a big one near, I can say it now, Birch, that we actually lost. They started green wasting the fields, and it just became, there was so much trash on the fields. It really wasn't worth the drive to go there because you would go there and dig, and 9 out of 10 targets were, the green waste trash. So yeah, it wasn't worth spending a day on there. So
yeah.
Now the coins you found, how long will it take you to go through their system for you to get those?
Well, right now it's really tricky because of COVID. A lot of people aren't going into work. The fine liaison officers are just now starting to get back to work. So for the last 2 years, nothing has moved. So most of the stuff that doesn't really need to go to the museum, the guy who does all of our exports and deals with the museum and all the export paperwork, he takes pictures, he sends it to the museum. Anything the museum wants to see, he can bag and take to the museum. They haven't really been picking up a lot of stuff unless it's a treasure or a hoard. The Celtic coins that we have, the gold coins, actually have to have a number from the Celtic Coin Index in order to get an export. So that was held up for a while. So some of the stuff for the last 2 years has kind of been on hold. Jeff, you went out there last fall. I haven't been since March of 2020. We were there when this whole COVID thing broke out and actually left 2 weeks early.
We weren't sure we could get home, so we
Yeah.
early and
Yeah, well, we weren't 100% certain because you never know about because those COVID tests, they can either be right on or they can be completely off the wall.
Yeah.
So you just don't know.
So right now it's about 3 to 6
Yeah,
months. Till we get
under normal circumstances, it's 3 to 6 months for him to do the export paperwork. And then like the people that went on my hunt, if they're going to go back in the fall, they just pick up their pouch when they go back in the fall. If they're not, they can have the pouch shipped to them for $30 or $40.
where somebody can
Yeah,
bring
I
it back.
just now got mine about a month ago.
Did you have them ship it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
The
'cause
shipping
I knew I
shipping
wasn't
takes a
going back
while.
this year. Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to go back this year. I'll probably go back next year.
Yeah.
So, I think I prefer the fall myself.
The weather's a little
The
nicer.
weather is more pleasant in the fall.
Yeah,
Spring is way too dicey.
yeah, we had great weather. I mean, it was I think the coldest it was maybe 45 in the morning, and then it warmed up, and of course you never know what to pack, so we were packing sweatshirts and all that kind of stuff. Never even used them.
Yeah.
We're hunting in shirt sleeves most of the time, and only one day of rain.
Yeah, I always tell them it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm. And
Well, let's get started on some questions because we've had some questions emailed to or Facebook to us. So this one is from Shannon Bordner, and she's asking, well, several questions here. What is your favorite find from England? And does the U.S. tax you if you bring gold, precious metals back to the U.S.?
My favorite find.
well, the answer to that is supposed to be me.
No,
She
I didn't
called
find
me.
you in England. He said
Well,
in
yeah.
England. That's what I
know.
said. I have an Opharex Saxon penny. Opharex was one of the Saxon kings about 770 AD. This coin that I have is the only one known of its type, and it's up there somewhere. It's on my hurry for me wall back there. It's a one of a kind coin. Oh, maybe I put it in the safe. Yeah, it's a one of a kind. I'm probably going to end up donating it to the Fitzwilliam Museum. It's a museum of Saxon artifacts and coins in Cambridge, associated with Cambridge College. But yeah, that's probably my favorite, like most unusual find.
With that coin, why didn't the museum want that?
So the museum wanted it, but a single coin they don't have the authority to buy. I get an export for it unless they deem it of national significance. If it's a one of a kind where there's never, they're never going to get another example of it, or they could declare it a national treasure, and it would still be mine, but I wouldn't be able to export it. They just wouldn't issue an export license for it. This coin, it's probably worth $2,000, so it's not a really, really expensive coin. The museum would like to get it, and I will probably end up, like I said, donating them to them. $2,000 isn't going to change my life a lot one way or another. It's a coin that probably should be in a museum. They'll use it for research and stuff. If they ever display it, it'll have a little plaque under there donated by Chicago Ron Guinazzo. So, and it's good to do the right thing every once in a while.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've managed to export a lot of stuff out of the UK. The second part of that question is I've never paid tax on anything that I brought back. I don't think it's required. I've never really checked, but nobody's ever said anything. And
Hey,
all my stuff is posted on my website. So if anybody really wanted me, they would have probably reached out by now.
The only-
Right.
The only fee involved with bringing things home is if the museum buys something, you split that amount with the landowner.
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, and for any gold find that we find, we have an agreement with the landowner. So we have a contract with the landowners, all the land that we hunt, because we want to make sure that it's not hunted by other people, so that when I go there with a group,
it's exclusive.
it's exclusive. Yeah, that nobody else has hunted that since, or any of the other groups that we have. But any gold we find, we pay the farmer a portion of the value. So if it's a milled gold coin, a portion of the bullion value, half of the bullion value. A Celtic gold coin, usually it's like somewhere between 50 and 100 pounds for common coins. So it costs you $150 and you get to keep the coin. But if we were pulling gold coins off, I have 23 gold coins in the last 18 years. If we were pulling coins off of these fields like that and not giving the farmers anything, we wouldn't have land for long.
That's right.
Chris sends emails to the farmers anytime we find anything. Everything's on the board. Everything is exported properly. We do everything by the book.
Some of the farmers come out and actually roll the fields for us if we're out there.
Nice.
One man actually came out with tea.
Yeah, because that's something that we noticed with the group we were with. but it was the same type of thing that you guys have, and they knew when we were coming, and the fields for the most part were in really good shape.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
we had a couple of roughies, but you know.
Well, and every time we go, it's potluck as to which fields are plowed, which fields are rolled, which fields are planted. There are certain crops you can't hunt. You can't hunt onion. You can't hunt potatoes. Most of the time, when they plant winter wheat, for the farmers that we've been hunting for a while, they allow us to hunt because we don't really do any damage. We have a few new farmers that we just got who really don't like us on the crop yet because they don't realize that we don't do a lot of damage. And eventually they'll get to the point where we're allowed to hunt the winter wheat and stuff like that. But most of the time it's a potluck as to what's available.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You answer the question.
Yeah. I think we answered both questions.
Yeah,
No tax and my Saxon one-of-a-kind penny.
And this, I get this question a lot. And you already mentioned your best find, your oldest find, and how deep is your average find? Like your gold coins you found? How
You
deep
know,
is it?
we're mostly hunting plowed fields. It's not like we're hunting pasture land where everything is undisturbed and you get stuff that's down 2 feet. I mean, I do get, can slaw that's down 1.5 feet, like everybody who's digging targets in fields. But most of the stuff is 8 inches or less. Most of the hammered silver coins and the gold coins are 6 inches or less.
A lot of buttons.
Yeah.
Lots of buttons.
Yeah. A lot of these hammered silver coins are really small. They're low signals like foil or nickel. And the Celtic quarter that I dug, I mean, it's a coin that big, and you probably wouldn't dig it deeper than 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we found. What we found, because this was our first trip over there. And, Chris told us, he said, hey, he said, don't throw anything away. He says, because you don't know.
Yeah.
And there was a couple things that I found. I said, that's a piece of crap. No, don't throw that away.
It's a
That's
tractor
okay.
part.
Yeah. I had a guy, Florida Stan Flack. You guys probably know him.
I know.
He's in a couple of clubs down there. So he's famous as the tractor part guy because he came out of the field and he's like, yeah, I got this tractor part because it's John Deere green. And it was a fibula brooch, a Roman fibula brooch with that bright green patina. And he's like, oh, thank God I didn't throw it away.
Yeah, I know Stan, and I think on that trip he did it for one of the clubs. He did a presentation of the club, and somebody had taken some pictures of him, and he was just sitting in the field. He said his feet hurt so bad from walking so much, so he had to sit right there in the middle of the field. But he's a big guy too.
Time for a break.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, you guys probably hunted like we did. We left the barn by 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And we didn't get back till after dark, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And we were hunting all day, every day.
Yeah, I average about 10 miles a day. I walk a lot I don't like grid small areas. I just wander the whole field, so I'll zigzag around.
Actually, he used his GPS and tracked it. He wrote his name in a field.
Only
That was cool.
only he would do that.
But
Only
just
he
Ron. That's
Yeah.
all. Just Ron.
would.
It's a little too complicated for the rest of it.
Yeah.
He did a good
That
job,
would be-
Phil.
All right. Well, I've got some more questions here. And just a reminder, folks, that if you have a question on Facebook, on the Treasure Talk Facebook page, Jocelyn's on there so she can take any questions that I don't have. She'll hand them to me. We've covered this of how many gold coins you found in the UK. You found 23.
23.
Yeah, that's
It's stupid. And when it happens, I'm not expecting it's just another button signal. They're all low 10, 12 on the Equinox. So it's just like a button or all the other crap that you're digging out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
as the man with 23 and the woman with none.
I did when we went over there. All I took was the dais, and You know, it was you got to dig it all because you just don't know. We had a question from Mark Fiorella off YouTube. He wants to know about the VDI numbers. Are they different in England than they are here?
Well, all the coins are different. Most of the hammer, like I said, most of the small hammered silver coins are like a cut quarter. So they would take a penny, which was the size of a penny, and in the 11, 12, 1300s, they would
change.
They would cut them into quarters. So
They would.
Yeah.
So it was like an actual.
yeah, it was done
Coin
by the
from the
moneyer.
mint.
It was done by the moneyer.
Yeah.
They would cut them into halves and quarters. So a cut quarter could read 4 on the Equinox. I only hunt in park with the sensitivity as high as possible. My book is right there with all the hammered silvers in it, right on the chair there.
No, I'm just saying.
What are you getting?
That is going to ring up like a hubcap.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is a copper. See if I can get that to where it shows. That's a copper Roman pot handle. So when I found it, I thought it was a sword handle.
Mm-hmm.
I was all excited, but it's a Roman copper double pot for boiling stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, big stuff like that. It's going to read like a Coke can. The Bronze Age sickle piece that I found this time was like a 25. They all read. The stuff is all different. You have to dig every
everything.
repeatable signal above.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. We had a question from Pacific Northwest Dirt Fishing. They want to know how long you guys been a couple. And then we had another one from a Facebook user. I don't know who it is because they didn't put their name in there. And another question is, what's the major rules hunting in the UK that could get you person in trouble?
So we've been together since
forever. No,
it only seems that way.
we met in 2012.
Oh yeah, 2012. We've been
As
married.
long as the treats keep coming, you'll hang around, Gretch.
As long as I keep buying her detectors.
I was done. I
got to keep the geek in her satisfied.
That's right.
And what was the other one? The
What
rules
can
for
you-
England. So any find over 50 years old needs an export license. So people that go over and go with the weekend wanderers or go over and visit family and they put stuff in their bag and take it back, that's illegal.
And they are serious about this.
They're very serious about it.
It's a 50,000 pound fine if you get caught and 5 years in prison, mandatory.
And that's about 75 grand for those who don't know.
If eventually they're going to make it, make an example of someone. You know, somebody's going to go over there, and they're not looking for the people that go over there and find greenies and stuff. It's the people who go over and find a gold coin and don't want to go through the process of exporting.
Right.
Yep.
And it's not that hard of a process. It just takes some time.
And more times than not, you're going to take it home with you. So, I mean, it's very seldom that the museum will keep something. And if they do, you get compensated.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, you always have the people that the rules don't apply to.
Yeah, of course.
And
But-
then, something else people think, just because they're over there hunting in a farm field, you ain't leaving no big gaping holes. That farmer will come down and run his tractor over your honey.
Well, I've talked to my guys. I had some new people on the hunt this time. So they plowed and planted a field and rolled it. So it is smooth. It's completely flat. So if you leave a pile of dirt, one clump of dirt on the surface outside of your hole, you can see it from the road. So when the driver or from the farmer who just spent 12 hours planting and rolling that field drives by and sees little clods all over the field, we're not going to have that field for very long.
You should be able to look at it and not know someone's been there.
So I yell at my guys all the time if they get tired or lazy. Take a break. Make sure you fill your holes in, all the dirt clods off the surface. The other thing about hunting in England, so 99% of the things that you find in England, you get to bring home with you. After you export it, you get to take them home. There's only 2 reasons the museums can buy anything, and that is if it is a treasure or a hoard. So a treasure is for non-coin type items. They have to be more than 10% silver or gold by weight.
Didn't they change that recently?
No, they're working on it. More than 300 years old. So it gets reported as treasure, and then the museum either disclaims it. They can't prove it's more than 300 years old. Or if they're not interested in it, a lot of times they just say, oh, we can't prove it's more than 300 years old, and they disclaim it. So I had a Roman gold bell that I dug, a little bell, and I know the decoration on it. I know it's Roman. We found a lot of Roman artifacts in that area. The museum just disclaimed it out of hand because they couldn't prove that it was Roman. They didn't want to date test it or anything. They didn't want to spend the money to date test it because they didn't want to acquire it. So they so it's a piece of history that didn't get reported as a Roman piece of jewelry. So the museum, I think, is actually doing themselves a disservice by just offhandedly disclaiming the stuff. But it's nice because we get to bring it home.
Most people don't have, or most of the people on the hunt are going to bring everything home with them.
The other one is a hoard. So a hoard are for silver or gold coins. It's more than 2 coins of the same type found on the same field. And the intent behind that is things that were buried together to be retrieved at a later time. So a lot of times you'll have a Roman pot of Roman silver coins that was buried in a field, and the plow breaks it, and you'll get Roman coins, silver coins scattered around a field. We had a field where we found 45 Roman silver coins on a field. So it was probably a small pot that got broken and scattered. The museum decided that they wanted to buy it. And I think they evaluated the coins at somewhere between 20 pounds and 100 pounds each. So I had like two Roman silver coins and a Roman bronze coin in the hoard, and I donated them to the museum. And then, of course, I get a donation letter from the museum saying that I donated part of a Roman silver hoard to the museum. Get a nice thank you letter from the British Museum. So silver and gold coins, more than 2 of the same type. Brass or base metal coins, it's more than 9, so 10 or more.
Okay.
For a hoard. And then if they buy a treasure or hoard, the museum, it goes through an evaluation committee, appraisal committee. They come up with a value for it. The farmer gets half the money, and the finder gets half the money.
Which is only fair.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a few questions here Jocelyn gave me from Facebook.
Okay.
And the first 2 are from John David. And he's saying, what's the best time to hunt in the UK? And he's also asking, what's Ron's worst experience while metal detecting? What was it? The worst experience?
I don't know that I can tell that story.
It's a family show, so please.
Yeah, I know. No, so what was the first question?
Okay, best time to hunt.
Best time to hunt, yeah.
You got to go spring and fall. So either when they're planting or when they're harvesting. And then depends on each field, at what point in the process they're in. Fall has more pleasant weather, so fall gets my vote. Summertime, there's not really, the fields are too high. You can't really hunt anything.
Yeah.
So
the big difference between spring and fall. So in the winter, they will plant winter wheat. So some fields will get planted. You get to hunt them in the fall, but they're still fluffy because they've just been plowed and rolled and planted. So you got air in them, and no machine likes air. You get some machines are a little better at it than others. In the fall, the ground's more fluffy, so you won't get as much depth. The weather's nicer. In the spring, all those fields that were planted with winter wheat will be compacted, and now you'll get depth. So you can go to a field in the fall, hunt it, find a lot of things, hunt it till you have nothing left, go back in the spring and hunt the same field that's still in winter wheat and get targets all over the place because the ground settled and now you're getting a little more depth.
it's every day is a new day.
It really is. And the weather is the biggest difference. It's colder in the spring. It's warmer in the fall.
Yep.
Okay.
Mark Priorella asked from YouTube, you guys pack lunches to take in the field or you head back to camp?
Well, so the way I run the barn is we have cereal, toast, juice, that kind of stuff, quick stuff for breakfast. We're out of the house at 7:00. Everybody makes a sandwich, and I have chips and snacks and candy bars and soda and all that stuff.
And when he thinks of it, he brings the carafe for coffee.
We'll have hot coffee usually if it's cold out, with instant coffee, sugar, and cream. So we'll break for lunch at 12:30. Everybody will eat sandwiches. I try and do at least one day a week where I go back to the barn and I'll cook hot pasties. They're like hot pockets with meat and potatoes, or the peppered steak are my favorite. So I'll try and do that one day a week. And then we hunt until dusk, usually 6 o'clock in the spring, maybe 7 o'clock in the fall.
Okay, I've got a load of questions piling up here on Facebook, so let's try to hit these kind of quick.
All right.
Debbie Edwards is asking, why not grid the area? And I just
Because he has
power.
ADD.
I lost power at my house, so I don't know if you guys still.
You're still there.
Oh, I'm on battery backup, so it may die after 15 minutes.
Uh-oh.
But she's asking, why not grid? And also, what is the best coil size?
He has ADD. That's why he doesn't grid.
Okay.
No, I wander around. Ideally, and with my teams, we all have the radios. So a walkie-talkie. So if somebody finds something, anytime somebody finds gold, silver, Romans, that kind of stuff, they get on the walkie-talkie, and we try and find what areas of the field hold the targets. Because if there was a village or a house or whatever it is that put stuff on there, we want to try and work those areas. So I'll wander. If I start finding targets, then I grid.
Oh, okay.
I do grid. I just don't do it often.
And then your favorite or best coil size?
I use the stock coil. If it was if a bigger or smaller coil was better, it would come with it.
Okay.
That's my. I don't do a lot of settings. I don't do a lot of playing with the iron bias and ground balance and all that stuff. I turn it on, I ground balance it, or I put it in auto ground balance. I run the sensitivity as high as possible, and I dig every repeatable signal above iron.
Okay. And then here's another question. This one's from Gary Gross, and he's asking, what is the most popular detector to use in England? Is one brand more popular than another?
It's the flavor of the day.
Well, I always tell people to use whatever machine you're best at, whatever you're most experienced with, because England is no place to learn a new machine. As it is, you're learning new targets, new sounds. You're digging things that you don't normally dig. The Equinox is very popular over there. The 3030 is still very popular, and the Deus. Those are the three top machines over there right now on my hunts.
Yeah. On that TV show, The Detectorists, the guys, I love that show.
I love those guys.
Great.
They're crazy. And that guy was using the 3030.
Yeah.
One guy.
Yeah, and the other guy was using the Deus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're swinging all day for 7 days. You want to consider the weight of your machine too.
Yeah, when I'm swinging for 3 10-day hunts in a row, that's not bad, but it can't swing at 30-30 for 30 days straight. Not a chance.
Yeah, that would be tough to do. And so we're not going to get your worst experience. Just give us a bad experience while I'm
So I'll try and cut so I got a really good signal. This is back early days. I was using the MXT. I got a great signal, big signal. I start digging down. I had my Carhartt jumpsuit on because it was cold morning. It started to warm up. I started to sweat. I got down to about 18 inches and could see what I thought looked like the pommel of a sword sticking up. And I'm all excited. I'm ripping off my Carhartt jumpsuit. I'm digging. I'm trying to widen out the hole. I get down. There's a little thing going off the side of what looked like the handle. I was like, what is it, bent? I clean out a little more. It was the pedal for a bicycle. So these fields were all much smaller fields at one time, and they would have a hedgerow or a trough in between the fields. And the farmers, when they fill those in, would fill them with cars, bikes, refrigerators. So you could have in the middle of a field have a car buried down 3 feet.
There's fly dumping.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was probably I spent an hour and a half digging this, sweating like crazy, digging this hole to find a bicycle at like 2 feet.
On Marini, you actually dug a hole.
The barrel ring.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I dug a barrel ring that was down 1.5 feet, 2 feet on one of the. Yeah, it was a huge steel barrel ring.
He dug a hole that big, that deep, because it was my signal. And honey,
oh, that was yours.
Will you help me?
Yeah. She still makes me dig her signals occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what they told us, if you're absolutely certain it's junk, chuck it in the hedgerow. And that's what they
don't
told
leave
us
it
to
in
do.
the hole.
Yeah. Well, and I like everybody to show me stuff unless it's can slaw. For a fact it's can slaw, a pull tab. You can identify it as a known piece of junk. Don't throw it away.
No,
He has
we just made sure it was junk.
Yeah.
He has the garbage bucket at the barn and goes through it at the end of the hunt and has pulled some good
Yeah.
things out of it.
I always find stuff that people throw away because they're not paying attention to stuff, bronze rings, and it's crazy the stuff people throw away because they don't pay attention or don't know.
Kind of Bronze Age axe head, I look at that and go, that's a piece of crap. But it was a Bronze Age axe head,
But if you were tired, you might miss
Oh, yeah.
something, and it's good to save your stuff and look at it later. Always.
Or have another set of eyes. Hey,
Yeah.
take a look at this.
Yeah.
Especially new people to England. It's always good to have like
Yeah.
Ron or somebody.
I have them wash up their stuff, and I put paper towels with their names on it, and they lay them all out to dry after they wash them. Then I go through and look and make sure, okay, that's garbage. That's garbage.
Yeah, that's kind of what we did. We cleaned up our finds, and then they came and looked at them,
Yeah.
and said, that's crap, over, that's good, that's good, that's good, But we couldn't believe the amount of buttons. Tell everybody why there are so many buttons in these fields.
I think they ran around naked a lot.
Well, that's what I thought, but I was
they also
corrected.
could have a person could have on just regular garments up to 30 buttons, just as a matter of general clothing.
Well, and there's a couple of things that I think. I mean, everything that was planted and harvested was done by hand. So people were carrying bushel baskets, and you're lifting a bushel basket, there goes buttons off your shirt. During the Black Plague, they burned a lot of clothing and bodies, and I'm sure they burned them in fields. So I'm sure there's a lot of buttons out there that came off of clothing that was burned during the plague. During the when was plague? Not even sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not good with plagues.
That's what we were told. So
Yeah.
And I would think with the buttons, I would think of our fabric or clothing, the materials today are a lot stronger than they might have been 400 years ago. Because I always think the same thing when you're on a military fort site and you're digging all these uniform buttons. How did they lose so many buttons? So the only thing I can think is the thread wasn't as strong as it is today.
Well, and a lot of these people made their own clothes, so they sewed the stuff on. If they weren't really paying attention when they were sewing to get the knot right or whatever, it comes undone and another button in the field.
You've got a homestead and they're doing laundry and
Hanging stuff out on the line, and
Right.
however.
Now, have you found many military buttons?
Oh yeah.
I found, or you probably found it, but I made a piece of jewelry out of it, a Prussian, military button from World War I. And it took me forever to try to identify it, but it was an amazing, it's like, what was a Prussian soldier doing in a farm field in Essex? So how did it get there? And it was fascinating.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Gretchen makes jewelry out of our finds from England. She's got an entire line on Etsy. There's a link on my Facebook, on my ChicagoRon.com space. So you can go there if you want to see some of the stuff that she makes. She does some really beautiful pieces. So.
Oh, wait,
That's what I understand. That's what I understand.
Yeah. So actually, go ahead.
How many people do you normally have on a trip?
So it's 6 people plus me and Gretchen per week or per 10-day hunt. Right now, this fall, I'm retiring in September. So this fall, I'll be running 3 10-day hunts. And then Tim Rushing, who runs hunts in conjunction with me, he's kind of a subsidiary of Chicago Run. He's running a 10-day hunt and 2 7-day hunts. So I'll be running 6 hunts. We'll have 36 hunters there this fall.
Nice.
And you guys you rent the barns, don't you?
Yeah. And we'll actually be staying at 2 different barns. I'll be staying at one in St. Osoph for the first 10 days, and then I'll be at the Rabnest barn for the second 2 hunts.
Yeah,
So-
I forget where we were. We were somewhere near Ardley, I think.
Yeah.
Minnesota Mindy her group was in another barn, and
Yeah, you were at Bird Farm.
Yeah, it was Sal. Yeah,
So-
it was cool.
I just wanted to don't throw your buttons away.
So for our wedding in 2015,
We were going to renew our vows in 2020.
so she made a bouquet, and that's all buttons from the 1800s, and
And then beach finds.
some beach earrings and stuff that she made
So-
that she made a bouquet for our
for our renewing our vows
in 2020, which we couldn't do because of COVID.
and little wedding favors.
Little boutonnieres. with-
Cool.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, don't throw the buttons away because they're awesome.
There they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
So, Ron, do you hunt the lake there in Chicago?
I do. I've been out mostly in the dry sand. The wave's been a little rough. I don't know, maybe $5 or $6, one gold ring, Washington quarter, silver. That's it for the year so far, but it's still early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Will you get in the water there?
I will. Yeah, I've got 7 mil waders that I use up until about June. The water temperature doesn't get over 60 until at least the end of June. It might get up to like 75 by July, but that's usually about it. Somewhere between 75 and 78 is usually tops.
yeah. Yeah. Well, see, for us down here, I think the water temperature is probably 80 degrees now, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, it's pretty close to 80 now, I think, because I mean everybody's in it, swimming, and
In the middle of, in July, it's 93, 94. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like bath water.
Like bath water, yeah.
it
Yeah.
is. And that's when I'd like to get in it when it's 80 degrees or higher. Then I'm
Yeah.
cool with it. And I like to water hunt, especially when there's no wave action.
Yeah.
It just makes life easy, not getting beat up by the waves. Well, it looks like Jeff's got the banner rolling.
Yes, indeed. It was time for a giveaway.
Uh-oh.
And
Oh,
yes, what we're giving away tonight is a MyLab Equinox carbon fiber shaft from CKG Scoops.
Nice.
So everybody knows the drill. They had to register on YouTube and or Facebook with the phrase CKG detector shafts rock. And I've already picked the winner. So it's how it works is once your name is called, you will have 3 minutes to either text or Facebook Messenger, Phil or myself. Those are our numbers scrolling along the bottom of the screen. You must identify yourself and that you are here. Then, in order to get your prize, you must email treasuretalkshow@gmail.com with your name, address, phone number. And then we will forward that to Dima over at CKG Scoops, and he will get your Equinox carbon fiber shaft right out to you. So get your fingers ready because you're going to have 3 minutes. It is 48 minutes after the hour. So at 7:52, we draw another name. So James, Arthur, Fraser, you want a detector shaft, but you got 3 minutes. Get them fingers going.
Call now.
come on, Jane.
Yeah. Just a couple of things. So we're going to be doing some events over the next couple of months. We're going to be at the Detecting the Heartland with Casey and Mindy over in Iowa next month in May. So Gretchen will have a booth set up. I think all the spots for the hunt are sold out. I think they had 170 spots and it did fill.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be doing Swing into Summer in Galesburg in June 11th. And then Friday night, there's a big meet and greet, and I'm doing the MC for the meet and greet event.
KG and Ringy are going to be there.
KG and Ringy will be there. They're having a whole bunch of people there. So it should be a
Where's
blast.
So we're really hunting in Galesburg.
Galesburg, Illinois. Yeah.
I've spent many hours roaming the streets in Galesburg, Illinois.
I think they're going to be at Lake Story.
Yeah. I've been there. Been there. Beautiful area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's a really nice event.
Yeah. They do a nice job putting everything together. I guess they got a lot of stuff they're burying. They're giving away a ton of metal detectors. So if anybody's looking for something to do in June, the Swing into Summer, I don't think they've sold. I don't know how many tickets they're selling or how many spots are available. So you can check. They have a site on the INI website or their Facebook page, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'll be a good time. Well, Arthur is here and he won the shaft. So we're good to go.
Yeah, and that's a CKG shaft. And did I lose everybody?
No, you're still there.
I lost everybody for a second. My computer's getting a little Wiggy tonight. But CKG makes an excellent scoop too. We stock them in the shop. We've got 2 different sizes with carbon fiber travel or standard handles. So stop in and see them if you're looking for a scoop for sure.
Yeah, well, there's not much you don't stock.
I try to stock a lot because in Florida, we're probably the biggest stocking dealer. I don't know if anybody has anything more. There used to be a big one in Orlando, but they kind of shut it down. So
I think it goes way beyond Florida, my friend.
oh, I think so too. But I don't want to be a braggart.
I do. I'll brag. Yeah.
We have fun at our shop because we do sell a lot, and like I said, we're getting a big load of Deus Ex in tomorrow. So if
Plus
anybody,
on the weekends, he's got well, yeah, one of the boys, Big Poppy.
Big Poppy, yeah, he's there on Saturdays. He
Yeah,
helps
he's
me out
there.
'cause we're so busy.
He makes people offers they can't refuse.
And he sells wine and olive oil during the week.
That's right.
Nice.
And Genco olive oil is what he sells, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Ryan, you're retiring, and for the folks that don't know, you're a fireman, correct?
I'm a fireman in Chicago. I retire after 26 years. We're going to retire in September. And actually, I was talking about the hunt in October. I actually have a spot available on Tim's group, a 7-day hunt. So if anybody's interested, they can send me an email through my website, treasure@chicagoron.com, just my email address. Also, I'm retired in September. So in January, we are starting the Chicago Ron Aruba hunt.
Oh,
So-
that'll be cool.
I have a 4-bedroom house with a pool,
We're
2
renting
cars.
a
We're
4-bedroom.
renting a 4-bedroom house with a pool, 2 cars. I have 3 spots available I have 3 spots per week for 4 weeks. I have 2 spots left, one on the 2nd week and one on the 4th week. So 1 spot January 14th to 21st and 1 January 28th to February 4th. Single hunter is $1,200. Couple is $1,400. You get your own private room. We go hunt in the morning, come back, hang out at the pool, a couple of beers, lunch, maybe go out and do an evening hunt. I'll grill and cook at the house, and then we'll go out for dinner a few nights. It should be a blast. We've gone a few times with some of our Florida crew and Dutch, who used to live in Aruba, and I've gotten it down to kind of a weird science, but we have a blast.
So you think once you retire, Ron, that you'll be moving from Chi-Town?
You know what? I think we're going to stay here for right now. I think if we can spend some of the winter months either in Aruba or traveling around Florida, trying to find some of you guys' stuff.
Ah,
Yep, I'm on the list.
We might eventually go down to Florida. We have to do some research.
Yeah. For right now, she has a condo in one of the suburbs here that we'll move into after I retire because I have to live in the city now as a fireman. So
Right, yeah. Well, we look forward to getting you down here.
I'd love to come down.
We'll take you hunting.
Florida's a big state for sure. There's
Yeah.
plenty of places to hunt.
Well, and a lot of different stuff to do.
What'd
I
you
want
say?
to.
And if our Florida friends are listening, we want to stay in your guest room.
Well, I've got one.
Awesome.
My little bungalow doesn't have a guest room, does it, Josh?
That's not enough, Dee.
Yeah, it's
Empty nest syndrome.
yeah. We've kind of filled with stuff.
Yeah, we just need a tent and a mosquito net. That's all we need.
Yeah, he'll put a cot up at the shop, though.
There you
Well, if there's room in there, there's too many detectors in there right
Yeah.
now. Oh
Not
my
for long, I'm
We got to
guessing.
push the dais.
Yes, push the dais for sure. Absolutely. So in Chicago area, I think the first time I saw a video with you in it with a bunch of gold rings that you had found in the lake. Now that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's been a little harder. We had one winter in 2011 or 12 where we had 23-foot waves on the lake, and it washed a load of sand off of a couple of different beaches down to the clay, where it got to the point where I was like, I built a sifter and was sifting. I got 15 gold in a week just sifting, no metal detector.
Mm,
So
that's
it's, I mean, it was down to the point where it was think outside the box and try and find more because there was so much iron we couldn't even hear targets.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I like to try and do that. Think outside the box. Think outside the box.
you know that you said that was in 2011.
Yeah, 9 or 11, something like that. I think that was my best year. I had 105 gold that year.
So do you think like with the Deus 2 or the Equinox, the faster processors, you would have been able to find it in the iron?
It's possible. I mean, I was using, and back then I was using I was probably using the E-Track and the Excalibur.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it would mostly
they were
dull out.
nulling on the iron anyway. So that's why it got bad enough where I just started sifting. You know?
Yeah.
I-
And a lot of people don't realize what those lakes are. Those lakes are cold.
Oh yeah.
And,
Very
you know, they say, well, how do you know you're in Illinois? How do you get 23-foot waves? Well, if they've never looked at one of the Great Lakes, there's a very good
Yeah.
you can get 20, and you know, and it looks like an ocean.
Yeah.
And
Waves
it's not
are
just
crashing
like-
on Lakeshore Drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the iron, those detectors, the E-Track and whatnot, and the Excalibur 2, they'll null out for the iron,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't be hearing the targets. But I
So
think even with the Deus 1 or the Deus 2 or the Equinox or the Legend, their processors are so much faster
Yeah.
today, so that you could get away with finding stuff in that thick iron, pulling out the non-ferrous from the ferrous.
Well, with the Equinox, I just run with the horseshoe on, and you listen for those little squeaks in between the low grunts. You know,
Right.
and then you move some dirt, and all of a sudden it's bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
hear it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely a learning curve. I mean, these machines are turn on and go, but when you get into situations like that with a lot of iron or a lot of black sand, you got to have a little knowledge behind you.
Oh yeah, it helps. It helps. And you know, going back to the lakes, see, people don't realize when they go, you know, people in Chicago, they go down to the lake shore there, it's Lake Michigan, and it's cold, but they're swimming in the water, and that shrinks the fingers up.
Yeah. Yeah, 70-degree water. If you can pull your ring off without wiggling it over the knuckle, all it takes is a little lotion. 70-degree water, poof, gone.
It's gone. Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Jocelyn told me she swam in Lake Michigan, and she said it gets real cold there.
Well,
compared to here.
I was considering trying the Nemo here, but that thermal layering, you get down about 8 feet and it gets cold. You know, the surface
Very
temperature is 70, but it's 55 down at 10 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, the beaches, especially I think it's North Avenue Beach, just you can't even walk. It gets so packed.
Yeah, 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 and
That's
especially the big events, the air and water show and the 4th of July. Those they're packed, and the next day there are 25 detectorists down there at North.
Oh, yeah. That night, night hawking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jocelyn was just telling me you get big ice on the lake too, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have like this year we had probably 8 or 10 feet of ice built up on the shore from the waves crashing on the shore and building up the ice over a couple of weeks when we had storms.
Okay.
And then you get people out there walking on it.
Yeah.
Well,
A couple of people went into the lake.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Hey,
Frustrating.
now you said you used a blue Nemo. Are you using the Nomad or the Nemo?
The Nemo. That's what I've been using in Aruba.
Okay. And are you just going out further than the beaches?
Yeah. I'm not doing because I've been watching some videos on YouTube of the people using that, and most of them are in water they can stand in using it. I go out in like 6 to 8 feet where the guys that hunt in Aruba can't necessarily go. So
Right. That's
And
smart.
And
Yeah,
how are you doing with that?
the last trip I got 5 gold out deep that I wouldn't have got, and a couple of the other Boston Mike, another guy that goes with me to England, went with us to Aruba, and he has the Nemo as well, and he got at least 2 gold out there. So I think we got 5 or 6 gold out there.
Yeah, I sell the blue Nemo, and I keep saying every year I'm going to start using it, but I took the class and done everything, but I think this year is going to be the year.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great machine.
If he's got the Nemo, he owns one. Then somebody comes in and wants to buy one, and so he sells it.
Well, I think I just got 5 of them in last week, so I know I've got one. Hey, I have a question. Now, this is somebody asking about Scotland. You don't go to Scotland, right?
No. And all of the UK is under the same rules as far as the portable antiquity scheme, except for, is it Northern Ireland is not?
No. Well,
One of the Irelands is not part of it.
well,
Wales, Scotland, and the UK are all part of
Northern Ireland is still part of Great Britain.
Okay, yeah. So that's part of the treasure scheme. So everything gets reported to the museums. You have to turn stuff in. Anything over 50 years old needs an export license.
Oh, okay. All righty. Well, it looks like we ran through that hour, didn't we? So I'm gonna have to say thank you, Ron and Gretchen, for coming on here and sharing with our members your wisdom on detecting, and hopefully some of the guys could go on a trip with you one day.
Yeah. If anybody's interested, they can send me an email. They either go to chicagoron.com. There's an email link there. There's a England hunt page and an Aruba hunt page with dates that are available, and there's a couple of open spots. So just send me an email if you're interested.
Cool.
And
Yeah, I
it's
know
free.
members have gone with you, so I know they'll have a good time. So I want to say thank you to both of you, and thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Jocelyn, for helping me. And I'll turn it over to you, Jeff.
All righty. Well, Ron, Gretchen, as always, it's just outstanding time with you two. We thank you so much for coming back. Everybody absolutely loves you and can't wait for you to come back. I definitely, and we're going to get together and do some hunting, whether it be in England or Aruba or someplace. We're going to make that happen.
Awesome.
And you guys are just fantastic people, fantastic guests. Make sure out there that you check out chicagoron.com. Check out Gretchen's Etsy store. She got some really quality stuff. So we want to make sure that y'all join us again. Now, Thursday night on Treasure Tales, we got Practical Ken and Clarksville Detecting. So we will see you next Monday night. I will be in Daytona. I'll be coming at you from the beach when we're going to have the Georgia Silver Hunter on. We're going to talk about coin roll hunting. So that is what's going on for the rest of this week and next week. So we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight and spending some time with Ron and Gretchen, two of the finest people we ever could hope to meet. So guys, try to stay warm up there in Chi-Town. Phil, I love you, buddy. Jocelyn, I love you. And we'll see all those people out there watching tonight. Happy hunting and dig deeper. Good night.
my friend.
Happy hunting, everybody.
Have fun.